Current electricity numerical, March 2019. Two resistors are connected in series with a 5-volt battery of negligible internal resistance. A current of 2 ampere flows through each resistor. If they are connected in parallel with the same battery, a current of 25 by 3 ampere flows through the combination. Calculate the value of each resistance. Okay, first ಏನು ಮಾಡೋಣ? These two are connected in series. Here R1 and R2 are the two resistors. They are connected in series, and applied potential difference or the battery is 5 volt, and current through the circuit, that is 2 ampere. Here Rs is equals to what we need to find. We need to find the resistance of these two resistors, R1 and R2, is equal to question mark. First we are connecting them in series. ಅವಾಗ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು 2 ampere ಇಲ್ಲಿ. Applied voltage or EMF is 5 volt. Same two resistors now we are connecting in parallel. ಅವಾಗ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದೆಷ್ಟು ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 25 by 3 ampere, and applied potential or EMF is same across the combination is, that is 5 volt. Now you need to find the resistance of these two resistors. Okay, let's first series ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನದ ನೋಡೋಣ. Here you can write Rs is equals to R1 plus R2, but here we are given that current through the circuit is given, and V is potential difference across the combination, and that is nothing but a 5 volt. Therefore Rs is equal to, we can express V by I, that V is a 5 volt and current through the circuit is 2, that 5 by 2 is equal to Rs is equals to 2.5 ohm. What is Rs? Rs is R1 plus R2. Therefore R1 plus R2 is equal to 2.5 ohm. That is our first equation. Now in parallel, the same two resistors right now they are in parallel. When they are in parallel, the current through the circuit is, that is 25 by 3 ampere. The applied potential is same, that is 5 volt. Here Rp, that is effective resistance of the combination of these two, is equals to R1 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Here Rp can be expressed like this, V by I. What is V? V is potential difference across the combination, that is V, that is what here 5 volt, and I current through the circuit, that is 25 by 3. Here we have substituted that 5 divided V is 5 and I is 25 by 3. Now this 3 is in denominator goes to numerator. Therefore Rp is equal to, we can express 5 into 3 divided by 25 is equals to 5 into 3, that is a 15 divided by 25. What is that 15 by 25? 15 by 25 andre 0.6 ohm ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Here effective resistance of the combination is 0.6 ohm. Now we can express, we know that Rp is equal to R1 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Here what is Rp? Rp is 0.6. And what is R1 plus R2? R1 plus R2 is, that is 2.5. Now here it is R1 plus R2 ಏನು ಬರಿತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ 2.5. Now we can write R1 into R2 is equals to, that is 0.6 into 2.5. Here 2.5 ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay, now R1 into R2 is equals to 0.6 into 2.5 ಆದ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ 1.5. Here it is R1 into R2 is equal to 1.5 ohm square actually, right? Now here we have R1 plus R2. This R1 plus R2 is equals to, we have 2.5, and R1 into R2 is 1.5. But to get R1 and R2 ಮತ್ತು R2 ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ we want a equation, that is we have already R1 plus R2 is equals to 2.5. Now I want R1 minus R2 is equal to something. How to find that R1 minus R2? ಈಗ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ತಗೊಂಬರ್ಬೇಕಿದನ್ನ R1 minus R2 is equal to something. For that we'll use the relation. using the relation that is a minus b whole square is equal to a plus b whole square minus 4ab. Here we can express, you will use this equation to get that r1 minus r2 is equal to something. Here r1 minus r2 whole square is equals to r1 plus r2. Here r1 plus r2 whole square minus 4a into b r1 into r2. What is r1 plus r2? R1 plus r2 is 2.5. We know that r1 plus r2 is 2.5 ohm. Here that is what r1 plus r2 is equal to in 2.5 ohm. Minus, here's a minus 4. What is r1 into r2? R1 into r2 is 1.5. Here it is r1 into r2 in 1.5. Now square it. 2.5 square matter, it is 6.25. Here's a minus 4 into 1.5, that is 6. And 6.25 minus 6 is equal to 0.25. Here r1 minus r2 whole square is equal to 0.25. Now taking square root on both sides, here it is r1 minus r2 is equal to a square root of 0.25. Now r1 minus r2 is equal to 0.5. That is our second equation. Now the first equation in r1 plus r2 is equal to 2.5 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. Second equation ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, r1 minus r2 is equal to 0.5. Now solve these two, ಎರಡನ್ನು solve ಮಾಡೋಣ. r plus r2 minus r2 get cancel. Now 2r1 is equal to 3 because 2.5 plus 0.5 is equal to 3. Here r1 is equal to 3 by 2 ohm, or r1 is equals to 1.5 ohm. Now substitute this r1 value in equation 1, that is r1 plus r2 is equal to 2.5. Here what is r1? R1 is 1.5. 1.5 plus 2 r2 is equals to 2.5. Now r2 is equals to 2.5 minus 1.5. Here r2 is equals to 1. What do you mean by this? Okay, here this is r1 is 1.5 ohm and r2 is 1 ohm. Andre ಏನರ್ಥ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? Here when you connect 1.5 and 1 ohm resistors in parallel, in series with this across this battery, 2 ampere current flows through it. And when these two resistors are connected in parallel, that is r1 is 1.5 ohm and r2 is 1 ohm, when they are connected in parallel across this cell or a battery of 5 volt, it gives the main current in the circuit becomes 25 by 3 ampere. Okay, this is what our 5 marks numerical, March 2019.